Greetings, YouTube. It's your boy Polo A, aspiring full-time entrepreneur, and I want to tell y'all a story. How I got fired twice in 1 year. I believe it was May of last year, 2018. I was working a job, man, and I had been there about 5 years. I love this job. Let me tell you how much I loved it. Probably loved it a little too much. Man, every day I used to go the extra mile for this job, man. I'm telling you, you know. And I just had it in my mind that I was gonna be there forever and retire and all that good stuff. I even got to the point where, I was like, well, since I'm gonna be here, shoot, let me go ahead and learn everything I can learn about my department and about the business. I would even go to the effect of just Googling stuff about my business that I work for, how long they had been in business, who the CEO was, all of that. I'm working hard every day, trying to better myself. You know what you should do. I mean, that's what you should do every day, is try to be a better person and a better employee, if that's what you do. So I'm working, you know what I'm saying, every day, learning, grinding. I even had a notebook that I had bought, at a little store, one of those notepads that you do. And I wanted to learn how to, do the leadership role, do the team leader is what they call it. That's what they call it, the team leader of the department. So since, I had a hard time getting the current team leader to teach me anything, I took it upon myself to go out here and learn myself. I pretty much came to work early and basically jotted down everything that I could learn, and then I would use it, One day, one glorious day, the team leader was out and they had nobody to fill his space, so I ended up being in charge that day, And once they found out that I knew the job, I pretty much got the unpaid position of backup team lead. Yes, unpaid. Unpaid. I'm telling you, I was happy with it because it gave me an opportunity to learn. Well, let's just fast forward some more. So, I'm sure I'm gung ho team leader, backup team lead. I'm going to work every day. I ain't even wearing sweat. I worked in a warehouse. I ain't even there wearing my sweatpants, t-shirts no more. I'm wearing my good clothes, My name is Polo, so that's my nickname. So I wear a lot of Ralph Lauren. I was wearing all my slacks and my sweaters and all that, man. All my nice little polo shirts. And I'm going hard, man. I even got to the point where I got interviewed for some supervisor positions. I was the only production worker there that was interviewed for a lot of these positions. A lot of people either had been in management before, or they were currently in management. So that was a big deal. I got to the point where I said, you know what, I'm about to make me a move. I couldn't get the team lead position on my actual shift, so I said I was going to switch shifts. Maybe something would open up for me. Plus, my son, I was working second shift at the time. So my son, I wouldn't really get to spend time with my son like I was liking to, because I worked second. So I went to first shift. That was the worst decision I could have made. Because after 5 years of working second shift, what happens is that you get used to that time frame of getting up at, anytime you wanted to, really. As long as I had to be at work at 3. But this particular shift, I had to be at work at 6 o'clock. Or was it 7 o'clock? I think it was 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock I had to be at work. And I had a just terrible time. First of all, the traffic is different. Very different when you switch shifts from second shift to first shift. Most of the time when you go to work at 3 o'clock, people are still at work. But now I'm having to battle to go to work because everybody's trying to get to work on time. And I worked like 45 minutes away. So I had to go from North Carolina to South Carolina every day. And they have what they call at my job an attendance policy. And make a long story short, I violated that attendance policy. But the funny thing about it is that all the times that I was late, You know, it was not all my fault, but the last particular time that I was late, I actually went to the hospital. Went to the hospital, and they didn't excuse it. It wasn't an excused absence. So I ended up getting fired from that job, man. I had been there 5 years, and it really, really got to me. You know, another door opened. Yeah, that's right. Next day, put in an application at a job, and it paid more money. It actually paid like $6,000 more a year, and it was less days. It was actually a weekend shift job, and I was like, you know, and shoot, like 2 days later they called me. 2 days later they called me for real, and I got the job. So I was like, man, you know, hey, I'm doing good. One thing they didn't tell me about that job though, they worked the shit out of you. I'm talking about the production is so fucking high at this job. I should have known. I had all the signs though. First sign I got was that all the people had on workout clothes. Everybody had on workout clothes. It looked like Planet Fitness in that bitch. Like, everybody was cut up and they had muscles and shit. Even the women, like the women was damn big as the men. Like, everybody had muscles. Man, they worked the hell out of you. Dude, trust me. Oh man. You know, so of course, like after about 6 months, you know, I think I lost my job in May. So around October, I lost that job too. I got fired because of production. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, everybody, man, it's like a 95% turnaround rate in that motherfucker. Like, probably only 5% of the people that started a year ago is probably still fucked up in there. Like, I ended up getting fired twice in 1 year. Didn't know what I was gonna do. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna tell you what I do know is that jobs just may not be for me. You know what I'm saying? Jobs may just not be for me. I think that at that moment, that's when I realized that entrepreneur was what I wanted to be. Because I can't get fired from it, for one. For two, I can eventually, you know, make more money than I could at a job. Number three, I own it. If I got me a business, I own the business. I'm the boss. I make my own schedule. I make my own hours. The best job I ever had, I worked for 6 months. I worked 5 12-hour shifts and 2 8-hour shifts. So that's 7 days a week. You know, every day for 6 months. Like, I was so tired from working. I was making a lot of money, a lot of overtime, working double time on Sundays, but it wasn't even, I had no energy to even spend the money I was making. Paying my bills, or I'm riding down the road. Eating when I can, sleeping when I can, spending time with my son when I can. So, even though that may seem like that was, you know, probably the worst thing that ever happened to me, it was the best thing that ever happened to me, really. Because now I'm putting myself in a position to control my life. I think that's what's most important. I got an opportunity to control my life better. You know, I'm still gonna have to put in work, probably have to put in more work being a business owner, but at the same time, it's worth it. I'll be able to build something that I can pass on to my son. I can't pass on a job to my son. You know? So that's where I'm at now. You know, just straight 100% entrepreneur. You know, that's the goal, is to own my own time, own a way to make my money. You know? Versus something that I'll never own. I just be able to work there, and then you know what happens when you get fired? They hire somebody else the next day to fill your spot. If you've been fired, this is inspiration for people who, if you've been fired for, it's not the end of the world. You can either find you a better job, or you can take time and the money to invest in yourself and do what you like doing. Live life on your own terms. Seems like that's the best way to go. Me sharing my story, Hopefully it helps somebody. If not, you know, if you're not going through it now, maybe you go through it later. You come back to this video, maybe make you feel better. Have a great day.